How are you today? This is Peter Christian Hessing. I welcome again to another one of interesting programs here. And I do hope that you're right with God, you're seeking God. I remember in the Bible here, I usually have it here with me here. Oh my God. And it says that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. I really love that He created this beautiful planet there, the earth, the universe there, as it says in Genesis 1. It's the most beautiful verse, I think, in the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So He tells you that He created, the universe, and there are billions of galaxies out there, and the earth. That's Genesis 1:1. This one I want to talk about space travel. As I told you that I'm an American citizen. Dear Peter Christian Hessing, Roper. I was born in Jamaica and I was able to come to America. My mother and my stepfather, they decided that I had to come to America. I had to leave Jamaica and come because there's so much opportunities here in America and Jamaica. And they loved us so much, and they sacrificed a whole lot to get me here. It's very hard to get a visa and come up. They had to get a lawyer and get me here. And I came and I started working in inventions and patents. I've had a patent, and I've designed a lot of machines and inventions and ideas. We have technology now that we can do anything, end poverty, end sicknesses. There we can have a system where we have healthcare for everybody. 6 billion people in the world have cell phones, and with phones you can create businesses for everybody, end poverty. You can have healthcare for everyone in the world, education for everyone. And as I said, we're working now on a system that will do away with nuclear weapons. We actually designed and invented a system, an expanding system that can actually, receive nuclear weapons and disarm them and send them back to wherever they were launched. If they, wherever they were launched, if they came out of Russia, they were sent back to Russia. Same out of China, they were sent back. North Korea, they were sent back. But the important thing here is that God created the universe for Americans and Russians and Chinese and Muslims and Christians and Jews and Jamaicans and West Indians there to live peacefully in. There are billions of galaxies here. We have 9 planets in the Milky Way there that we have to save and develop, or you can say colonize. I got a patent and I designed a system. It was a food production system, a mobile food production system, where you could grow food in any environment. You can grow food on land, grow food in the ocean. My real intention with this patent was to feed the entire world, have end hunger and starvation, and provide the farmers with a valuable financial marketing system. Really aim was to provide a farm for every person in the world. We have 8 billion people in the world. We would have 8 billion farms, and this was the object of this invention and patent that I got from the U.S. Patent Office. We also filed some international patents in other countries, in Canada and in Europe, in Britain, in France, in Brazil, in all these other countries, Africa there. We also filed it there. So, but this system that we had designed, one of the biggest advantages of this agricultural system, and what was the aim of it, this was back in the 80s, about 20 or 30 years ago. The main purpose of this was that it would be able to grow plants in space on the moon, on Mars, on Jupiter, and Uranus and Venus, on Pluto, or all the planets, Mercury. This mobile farming system is lightweight, you can, and you're able to put it on board spaceships and grow plants in other parts of the universe. So I call this. I'm going to give you just a brief idea of it. I call it the 9 planets. And I'm going to get more better maps for you. I'm just giving you a brief idea here. I call it 9 planets, or the interplanetary space program. And with this system, what you would really have is you have a lot of these probes and spacecraft. They launch them from NASA, and they go all the way to Pluto. They go all the way. They pass all the 9 planets. They launch them from Earth. They may take years, but they pass all the 9 planets, and they go all the way from Earth to Pluto. To study the atmosphere and study conditions on Mars. Now they're finding water on Mars and so forth. But they do have these spacecraft and probes that they launch all the way from here in America on the Earth, and they pass all the 9 planets, and they go all the way down to Pluto, all the way there. And of course, it's pretty expensive. But this program and this concept that I think is a very good concept that I think NASA should do. I did have at one point a program with the space program. My idea was to put it in space, and I had a project with NASA. I had a NASA project. I did launch a NASA project with NASA to put my idea into space on the space shuttle. And it's amazing that you get so much distraction. The cost, of course, for me, a poor Jamaican inventor, it's expensive. But what would happen with this project was that I had with NASA, and I had a project with NASA, is that the spacecraft would carry about 9 different of these mobile farming systems. And when it was launched from the Earth, as it passed each planet, it would launch into each planet. It would launch into each planet. It would launch into each planet an agricultural farming system. It goes by Mars. It would launch agriculture with plants that would grow, and of course with water and things that you can make water with. It passes Mars. It passes Jupiter. It passes Uranus, Venus, Saturn, Mercury, all the way to Pluto. As this one craft, you would have probably 9 or a dozen different agricultural mobile systems that, as this spacecraft passes all these planets, it launches into these planets this agricultural food production farming system that can produce oxygen and also create an environment, a living environment where people can live. So I think it's much less costly. It's a much better idea, because we are spending millions of dollars going into space, and we have not been able to really colonize space, and this would be a great way to colonize space. I call it the United States of America. We got some patents and copyrights on it there, but I think that's the program we really need to get into, and it would create a lot of jobs and build our economy. So that is something I think the next president, whether we have Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or Sanders, whoever becomes our next president, that's the type of program they should have. A 9 planets interplanetary system that, as these crafts pass these planets, they are launching into these planets these mobile agricultural systems that can start growing plants, producing oxygen, and using water and so forth. So you could have this system. It would be on all the planets there, and you would have an environment that's there producing oxygen, and eventually people might be able to go and stay and live there. So that's the type of system I think we need to do. Peter Christian Hessing, look for my book, the 24/7 Inspection Safe